Ted Ellis Field on the campus of Chapmanville High School. Chapmanville Tigers baseball. Tonight, the number 1 ranked Class AA Chapmanville Tigers take on the Sissonville Indians in a Cardinal Conference matchup and a battle of 2 Class AA Region 4 competitors that Daniel could we don't want to say right now, we don't want to give the region to Winfield yet, or give the section to Winfield. We don't want to give the section to Chapmanville just yet, because there's a lot of teams that could they've got a lot to say about that. But this potentially could be a regional matchup in the best 2 out of 3 series.
This could be, as we've had both teams have success, honestly, in the postseason. Chapmanville had success in 2021. Sissonville had success in 2022. Both teams fell to Logan and eventually on their final path to trying to get to the state championship. Sissonville got there last year. They had Logan in a 1-0 hole, and then Logan trot out 2 wins in a row to defeat them. And then you look at Chapmanville in 2021, made it to the sectional championship, lost to Logan, and then last year they got beat by Scott on a heartbreaker and then got upset by the Wayne Pioneers. So don't count out any of these ball clubs, especially Sissonville, as Region 4 is wide open. Even though Logan's the 2-time defending state champion, you got to go through them. It is still wide open for this entire region of who's playing in the region and who might be winning the section and going on to play in regionals and go on to state.
We'll take a look at the starting lineup, starting with the Sissonville Indians. The Indians will send a lineup up to the plate against Chapmanville starting pitcher Joey Canterbury. And Eli Symington, the center fielder, will get things going. He will be the leadoff batter. Jacob Coleman, the third baseman, hits second. Tristan Ports, the catcher, hits third. As first pitch is upstairs for a ball, 1-0 the count to Symington, the right-hand hitting center fielder. Nathaniel Symington will play shortstop and hit fourth. Luke Jordan in right field bats fifth. Austin Pridemore, the designated hitter for Owen Comer, hits sixth. Comer will play first base as the pitch is a called strike at the knees. 1-1 on the way upstairs. 2-1 now the count to Eli Symington. Batting seventh, Tanner Griffin, the second baseman. Pitcher Wyatt Lester hits eighth, and Alex McCollum bats ninth and plays left field. 2-1 pitch popped up in the right field. The right fielder, Jacob Topping, on his horse, will make the catch a few steps shy of the infield, and there's one away on the fly out to right field.
Good pitches by Canterbury. Was able to get Symington to fly up and got him out, and now that's what this is about usual Sissonville way. They have a slow start and then try to pick it up and see if Canterbury can sit them down in order.
Pitch to Jacob Coleman, a swung on a miss. Strike one to count. Eli Symington was a .404 hitter on the season, 19 for 47, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. Now a 1-0 or 0-1 delivery to Coleman is upstairs for a ball. Jacob Coleman, the third baseman, batting second for the Sissonville Indians, hitting .234 on the year. And he takes a pitch outside for a ball, 2-1 the count. Again, a .234 hitter, 11 for 47, 3 RBIs and a double for Jacob Coleman. Has just two players in the lineup, Symington and Tristan Ports, hitting over 400 for the Sissonville Indians. After that, no one, the next best batting average is .310, as everybody else is .290 or below. 2-1 pitch is outside for a ball, 3-1 in the dirt, and Jacob Coleman draws a walk with one out, and that brings up catcher Tristan Ports.
Tristan Ports has the power to put this one into the gap and maybe put one out of here, and you got to watch these Sissonville Indians. They were aggressive. They were about 50-50 aggressive on the base pass last year. Maybe they'll be the same. They might be more aggressive now that they're 4-11, but you never know what can happen with a Sissonville team coached by Carpenter.
Ports, the leading hitter for the Indians at .442, takes pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. 0-1 to count to Tristan Ports. As he waits the 0-1 offering, pitch is in the dirt. 1-1 to count. Ports is batting. Ports 19 for 43. He has 4 doubles and a team high 13 RBIs. The leading run producer for the Indians, facing a 1-1 count. Canterbury's pitch on the way. Here it comes. No movement at first, and a pitch in the dirt. Good block, by Brody Dalton to hold Coleman at first base.
Yeah, that pitch just a little bit low into the dirt, and Coleman's getting some head starts at first, but he's not taking off. I think he's waiting for the right pitch from Canterbury.
Pitch on the way, inside corner, called strike, 2-2. The count evens up to Tristan Ports. So Joey Canterbury, the starting pitcher for the Chapmanville Tigers tonight, get to his numbers after the 2-2 to Ports. Here it comes, and it's in the dirt, and another block by Dalton. Ports thought he had ball 4, but it's a full count.
Yeah, he got a little ahead of himself there, just short on for ball 3. Thought it was ball 4, but right now Ports, maybe that could jinx him there. As who knows what this pitch from Canterbury could be. Might get Ports the chase on this one.
Full count offering on the way. Here it comes, and it's swung on and hit foul along the first baseline. Count remains 3-2. So Joey Canterbury making his 3rd appearance of the season, his 2nd start on the mound for the Chapmanville Tigers. A 1-0 record with a 0 ERA. He has pitched in 6 innings, allowed 2 runs. Both of those were unearned. 4 walks, 1 strikeout, and has only allowed 5 hits in 6 innings pitched. Throw over to first, nothing doing as Coleman gets back safely. Pitch on the way in the dirt, and Ports will draw the 1-out walk. So back-to-back walks, and Sissonville has runners at first and second with 1 man out. Checking as Brody Dalton goes out and talks to Canterbury, checking the defensive positionings for the Chapmanville Tigers. In left field, Lucas Price, Trey Butcher in center field, and Jacob Topping in right field. On the infield, Braylon Moore is at third base, Talon Thompson at short, Luke Knight at second, Andrew Farley at first. Behind the plate, Brody Dalton and Jacob Canterbury pitching to Nathaniel Symington, the cleanup hitter, who's a shortstop. Pitch on the way is in the dirt. And Dalton getting a workout back there behind the plate, Daniel, as he blocks yet another pitch in the dirt.
Yeah, those pitches from Canterbury just leaving late on his arm, and it's always hitting the dirt. But right now, if you're Nathaniel Simonton, you just got to do your job to try to get a base hit and move the runners over in scoring position.
Pitch in the dirt, and yet again, Dalton comes up with a block. So we've already seen Brody Dalton go out and talk to Joey Canterbury. Daniel, you have to imagine if his struggles continue, you're going to see a visit from a Chapmanville coach out of the first base dugout. Maybe if he walks the bases loaded and he don't get out of this jam, we'll see when. But pitch on the way is in the dirt, or actually it's at the knees for a called strike. 2-1 to count. Excuse me.
Yeah, just
getting a little bit ahead of myself as an umpire with a little bit of a delayed call there.
He had a little delayed call, but good pitch by Canterbury. Low at the knees, see if he can do it again against Simonton.
2-1 on the way. Nathaniel Simonton swung on a miss. 2-2, the count evens up. And Nathaniel Simonton hitting 180 on the season. He is 9 of 50. He does have 4 doubles, 6 RBIs, but 19 strikeouts. Strikeout number 20 would be big as that pitch swung on, hit to short. Thompson goes to Knight at second on the first. Double play. That's one way to get out of the inning. 6-4-3 double play to erase the Sissonville Indians in the top half of the first inning. The Indians don't score, but they leave a runner stranded at third base. Half inning in the books. Sissonville 0, Chapmanville coming to the plate. This is Chapmanville Tigers Baseball on Video Productions and WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Nothing doing for the Sissonville Indians in the top half of the first. And Chapmanville coming to bat. And the Tigers send a lineup of Luke Knight, second baseman leading off. Talon Thompson, shortstop batting second. Brody Dalton behind the plate hits third. Trey Butcher in center field bats fourth. Andrew Farley, the hot-hitting Andrew Farley, home runs in 3 straight games, bats fifth as the first pitch from White Lester to Luke Knight is a ball outside as Knight showed bunt but pulled back. Joey Canterbury, pitcher, hits sixth. Jacob Topping, right fielder, hits seventh as Knight swings and misses. 1-1. The count evens up. Braylon Moore in third base hits eighth, and the ninth place hitter, designated hitter, Eli Surgoin, hitting for left fielder Lucas Price as the 1-1 just upstairs, 2-1 account to Luke Knight.
Luke Knight is probably one of the best leadoff hitters in this entire state. He can either beat you with his bunt, with legs, or his bat.
Pitch called strike, 2-2 the count to Luke Knight. Knight is batting .404, 21 for 52 on the year. 1 home run, 9 RBIs. He has 3 doubles. Pitch on the way, swung on and poked foul down the left field line. Count remains 3-2. Luke Knight has also scored 25 runs. That leads the team. And his 21 hits is tied for second with Trey Butcher and Andrew Farley. 2-2 from Wyatt Lester to Luke Knight on the way. Here it comes. And swung on and hit foul out of play again. Count will remain 2-2 as third baseman Jacob Coleman gives chase, but that ball is out of play and off the hillside.
Yeah, Wyatt Lester's been going to some curveballs lately in this inning. He went about like 3 straight here. See if you can get Luke Knight maybe on a low fastball here.
2-2 on the way. Pitch swung on, hit back up the middle and into center field. 4-base hit. First hit of the game for either team. And Chapmanville has a leadoff hitter aboard for shortstop Talon Thompson.
Yeah, now it brings up Talon Thompson, and he's one of those sophomores that can really put the barrel to the ball and make you pay on it. As Thompson, as one of the he was started at catcher at the beginning of the year, moved him to shortstop. He played catcher last night, then now he's back in shortstop. But anywhere he can play, it just makes him a dangerous player, and it just has to deal with this bat that he has on him.
Throw over to first base, nothing doing as Knight dives back in safely. Talon Thompson hitting .429 on the year, 24 for 56, 14 RBIs, 6 doubles. Throw over again, nothing doing as Knight is back in safely. Thompson with a team-high 24 hits to lead the Tigers in that category, and his 14 RBIs is third on the team, just behind Andrew Farley's 25 and Brody Dalton's 17. First pitch on the way from Lester to Thompson. It is outside corner called strike. 0-1 to Thompson. Outfield for the Sissonville Indians, Alex McCollum in left field, Eli Symington center, Luke Jordan in right. We'll get to the infield positioning around the corners after this pickoff attempt, as once again Knight dives back in safely. Jacob Coleman is at third, shortstop Nathaniel Symington, Tanner Griffin at second base, Owen Comer first base, Tristan Ports behind the plate catching for Wyatt Lester, and the 0-1 on the way just upstairs for a ball. 1-1 account evens up.
And Wyatt Lester has been trying his best to pick off Luke Knight, because Luke Knight's one of those dangerous runners that he can easily steal a base if you're not paying attention.
Yet again, throw over. Yet again, nothing doing. Knight dives back in safely. Lester, 5 games started this season for the Indians. He is 1-2 with an earned run average of .531. 1-1 on the way. And outside for a called strike, taking second base, and the throw gets away in the center field, but center fielder Eli Symington backs it up. So it's a stolen base for Luke Knight as the throw got by the shortstop, or got by the second baseman, Tanner Griffin, who was breaking the cover of the bag. So 1-2 the count to Talon Thompson, runner in scoring position for the Chapmanville Tigers.
Right now, if you're Talon Thompson, you just got to know to put this one in the gap and score Luke Knight from second.
1-2 pitch on the way is outside corner and just missed. 2-2 the count.
And Thompson's doing a good job being patient here. He's not giving anything White Lester went on the corners, tried to go to curveballs to Luke Knight. Now he's trying to get Talon Thompson to chase on the bottom corner. See if he can finish the job here with strike 3.
Pitch on the way, swung on, hit down the left field line. If it's fair, it's in trouble, but it hooks foul. Count stays 2-2. Thompson didn't miss a double by much, Daniel.
No, that was just barely got over the line. And Josh Rakes was jumping up and down just knowing how close that one was. But Talon Thompson, if he's starting to feel the pitches from White Lester, if he could put one on here, Sissonville might be in trouble.
Pick off a 10, nothing doing at second base this time as Knight dives back in safely. And you look out there, Daniel, and that nice, clean, white uniform that Luke Knight had to start the game is, it didn't last long.
No.
There's going to be a lot of tide to get that out.
More like the whole can to get that out.
2-2 on the way, swung on, popped up. We'll see if it stays in play. It will, but who wants it on the infield? A lot of Indians converge, and it's going to be the second baseman that will make the catch and tagging and moving to third will be Luke Knight. Heads up play by Knight as the second baseman, Tanner Griffin, came in to make the play. In fact, everyone on the infield for the Indians converged on the pop-up, and as soon as the play was made, the third baseman, Jacob Coleman, was late getting back. And Knight takes third on the pop-up.
Just bad communication there. The pitcher looked like he had the first jump on it to get it, but the second baseman Coleman called him off, and second baseman called him off, and third baseman was nowhere near for Knight's steal.
Brody Dalton now the batter. 1-0 the count as Dalton takes a pitch for a ball. Dalton hitting .360, 18 for 50 on the year. He has a home run, 17 RBIs. He also has 5 doubles. Looking for RBI number 18 in the pitch. A little breaker in at the knees for a called strike. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, now Luke Knight's setting at third. Brody Dalton, you're not careful. Brody Dalton can put one over the fence. As he's not the only, Andrew Farley's not the only one for Chapmanville that can put a ball out of play.
Pitch on the way outside. Dalton doesn't chase. 2-1 now the count.
Dalton just trying to find his pitch. As last outing he had against Mann, he was intentionally walked twice, and then the one time he couldn't, he made Mann pay.
Pitch on the way, swung on and hit down the first base line, but foul by inches. 2-2. Now the count to Brody Dalton.
2 hits from Chapmanville were just inches from being doubles. One from Talon and the other one from Brody. If they can line it out and try to just put one in play, Sissonville is going to have troubles with these Chapmanville batters early on, as one hit from Dalton will score, or even a hit in the outfield will score Knight from third.
27 2/3 innings pitch for White Lester. He does have a little bit of some control issue. He has 26 strikeouts. He has walked 11 batters, but he's also hit 10. So there's 21 free base runners when Lester is on the mound. Thus far, he has allowed 1 base runner. He hasn't walked anybody yet, nor has he hit anybody, but he is 2-2 pitch to Brody Dalton on the way, and Dalton swings and lines up foul again off the fence along the first base side. Count remains 2-2.
Heads up first base coach, as Dalton was beaming right to him again. He had to move out of the way on that one. And like you said, Lester doesn't have the greatest stats of, like, you could think in high school baseball, but he gets the job done when it matters. And see if he can strike out Brody Dalton to get out number 2, a big out for Sissonville.
2-2 pitch from Lester to Dalton on the way, but first a throw over to third, and nothing doing. And, in fact, a little bit of a collision there, but Luke Knight is able to hold the bag, call timeout, as Jacob Coleman, Knight, and the baseball all arrived at the same time. Knight was able to get the foot in. Coleman makes the catch. They collide, but Knight holds the bag. And that pitch swung on, hit the right side. The first baseman, Owen Comer, will take it himself, but Brody Dalton gets the job done as Luke Knight comes in to score with the first run. Chapmanville with an early 1-0 lead.
May not be a base hit, but it's an RBI. Brody Dalton gets his job done. He sends it down first base line, and Luke Knight takes advantage of it, comes home, and Chapmanville gets that 1-0 lead. Important 1-0 lead against this Sissonville team. And now Trey Butcher's coming up to the plate, and Trey Butcher is also one of those guys that can put it in the gap and get extra bases.
RBI number 18 for Brody Dalton on the year. Butcher, the batter, will swing and hit one to second base. Griffin fields it, throws over to first in time to retire Butcher and the Tigers in the top half of the first inning, but not before the Tigers get a run on one hit. They leave nobody on base. One inning in the books from Ted Ellis Field. Chapmanville 1, Sissonville 0. This is Chapmanville Tiger Baseball on Video Productions and WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Move to the top of the second inning. Chapmanville 1, Sissonville 0. Chapmanville Tiger Baseball on Video Productions and WVOW. Leading off for the Chapmanville Tigers is right fielder Luke Jordan for the Sissonville Indians, and he grounds out to third baseman Braylon Moore, who comes across the diamond to make the play and throw over in time to Andrew Farley for the first out in the top of the second inning.
Now we have Austin Pridemore coming up to the plate for the Sissonville Indians. He is batting for the first baseman, Owen Comer, and Pridemore is just trying to get something going for Sissonville as he takes that first pitch, swung on and missed.
0-1 count to Pridemore, a 200 hitter, 6-4-30 on the season, 5 RBIs, 2 doubles for Pridemore in the Sissonville lineup as he takes a pitch upstairs for a ball, 1-0 the count. Luke Jordan again made the first out. Pridemore, the batter now, and Tanner Griffin due up in the on-deck circle for the Indians. 5-6-7 as Pridemore swings and misses. 1-2 the count.
I'll tell you what about Sissonville. They got some smart batters, honestly. They may not have the best batters, but they got some smart batters as they know how to take balls and get on base with walks.
Pitch taken for a ball, 2-2 the count, evens up to designated hitter Austin Pridemore again, hitting for the first baseman, Owen Comer. Pitch on the way, swung on a miss, strikeout number 1 for Joey Canterbury, and 2 away. And Tanner Griffin, the batter, Griffin hitting .310, 13 for 42 with 6 RBIs.
Griffin has some legs as he's one of those basketball players that came playing baseball this year, and if you're not careful, if Griffin gets on base, he'll make you pay with his speed.
First pitch swung on a miss, 0-1 to count to the second baseman, Tanner Griffin, who was pretty active in the first inning, with an assist and a putout, and he'll line a shot over a leaping shortstop and in the left field for a base hit as Griffin got that one over the outstretched glove of Talon Thompson for the first hit for the Sissonville Indians, and that brings up the pitcher, Wyatt Lester, hitting .167, 7 for 42 on the season.
Lester's just going to try to do his job with 2 outs to keep this inning going and move Griffith over to second, as Griffith could be on the move here with a base steal.
Pitch on the way, taken at the knees for a called strike. 0-1 to count to Wyatt Lester. 2 outs here in the Sissonville top half of the second inning. 0-1 on the way from Canterbury. Swung on a miss. 0-2 the count. Canterbury 1 strike away from retiring the Indians in the top half of the second inning.
Sissonville's not timing up Joey Canterbury's pitch. This is where we've always mentioned they had a late start in the beginning innings, but then they usually pick it up right around the end of the innings.
Wild pitch in the dirt, bounces off the plate and gets to the backstop, and Tanner Griffin will take second base easily on that play as Joey Canterbury uncorks a wild one that nearly got over the screen and into the stands.
Yep, almost got out of here, but right now Sissonville's got a runner in scoring position, and let's see if Lester can make a do on this opportunity.
Pitch swung on, hit in left field. Left fielder coming on, and that is Lucas Price to make a running catch and retire the Indians in the top half of the second. They do nothing, but they get a hit and leave a runner stranded. 1.5 innings in the books from Ted Ellis Field. Chapmanville 1, Sissonville 0. This is Chapmanville Tiger Baseball on Video Productions and WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. The bottom of the second inning, Andrew Farley leads off for the Tigers. Farley, Canterbury, and Topping, 5, 6, 7 in the Chapmanville lineup. First pitch fouled off. Second pitch taken on the inside part of the corner, outside part of the plate for a called strike. 0-2 the count to Farley. Pitch on the way, outside and low, 1-2 the count.
Good eyes by Farley. He didn't chase on that one. As when Farley comes up the bat, you're going to have to put on the sirens, as he can put one out of play and it could damage a vehicle.
Pitch on the way. Farley pokes at it, sends it into right field. That ball's carrying, but a good catch by Luke Jordan out in right field on the run to retire Andrew Farley. And off the bat, Daniel, that looked like it was going to be a routine fly ball, but that ball just kept carrying and carrying.
Yep, and I don't see wind blowing in this here at Ted Ellis Field, but nonetheless, that just tells you how powerful Farley is. It looked like he barely got out on it, maybe a routine fly, but that ball just kept traveling, and luckily enough, Luke Jordan was able to grab that.
Now, Joey Canterbury will be hit by the pitch, and that's the 11th batter that Wyatt Lester has hit this season. We talked about his struggles in the first inning. 21, a combination of 21 walks and hit batters in just over 26 and 2/3 of action on the mound. And we'll get a courtesy runner for the pitcher. That is Eli Messer.
Eli Messer's got one of the best wheels on the Chapmanville Tigers ball club. And they love him being the courtesy runner for the pitcher or catcher. And now Topping's going to step in to the plate. And Topping, if you're not careful, he could put one right back up the middle and move Messer over to third with the way Messer runs.
And we'll see if Topping squares the bunt to get Messer into scoring position. He won't. He'll take a pitch outside for a ball. 1-0 the count as Braylon Moore is in the on-deck circle. Topping on the year, 171, 7 for 41. He has a double and 6 RBIs for the Chapmanville Tigers, who hold a 1-0 lead. Pitch upstairs, 2-0 the count to Jacob Topping.
That ball just curved out and back in just a little bit high. As he's been going to that curveball a lot. And Chapmanville just got to learn to just keep a good, sharp eye on it and maybe time up those curveballs.
Pitch on the way, swung on a bounce foul. 2-1. Now the count to Jacob Topping, the right fielder for the Chapmanville Tigers. Also the ace of the Tigers pitching staff. Topping is 5-0 on the season. He started 7 games, a 2.05 ERA, and 57 strikeouts as Messer gets a good jump and will have second base stolen easily on Wyatt Lester. So second stolen base of the evening for the Chapmanville Tigers, the first for Messer, and the count now 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's why Messer's in a courtesy run. He can use his legs to beat out the throws from the catcher. And now Topping knows with only 1 out, you got a runner in scoring position, a base hit back up the middle. We'll score Eli Messer.
2-2, 1 out. Messer the runner at second. Pitch to Topping. Swung on and bounced foul. Count remains 2-2. Elsewhere this afternoon, taking a look at this high school softball scoreboard, Logan is out Wayne. Man is at Westside. So we'll try to keep you up to date on those games as we get them, as Topping bounces to second baseman. And there's Tanner Griffin, the very active Tanner Griffin, who will throw over to Comer at first base for the second out. Moving up to third is Messer on the play.
Now Braylon Moore comes into the batter's box. He was 0 for 3 his last outing against Man, but then he got that hit in the 6th inning that went that probably he can build spark on from last night in that victory over Man.
Pitch on the way, swung on and hit the shortstop. Charges, about fell over, stumbles, keeps his feet, throws in time. Good play by Nathaniel Symington to keep the feet underneath him and make a strike over to Comer at first base to retire him 6-3 on the putout. So Chapmanville gets a base runner but leaves him stranded at third base. 2 innings in the books from Ted Ellis Field in Chapmanville, West Virginia. Tigers 1, Indians 0. This is Chapmanville Tigers baseball on Video Productions and WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Productions, and WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. At Ellis Field as we move to the bottom of the third inning. One pitch, one out as the designated hitter Eli Surgoin pops up to the shortstop Nathaniel Symington. Luke Knight, the leadoff hitter for the Tigers, 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored back in the first inning. Fouls the first pitch off. Second pitch swinging is underneath the glove of the first baseman Owen Comer into the right field corner. Knight rounds first, heads for second, and he will slide in with a. We'll wait how they score it. It's under the glove. You got to imagine, Daniel, that's got to be an error.
That's honestly like a 50-50 for me being an error and being a hit because that was a hard hit ball. But, yeah, Comer, he had a good position on it, just didn't get the glove down low enough to the dirt to scoop it and could have got 2 outs right away for Sissonville. But that just mishap right there from Comer is have Chapmanville an opportunity with Knight on second.
We'll check the Game Changer scoring app here in just a second as Talon Thompson, takes a pitch outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Talon is 0 for 1, popped up to the second baseman and swings and fouls that pitch off the screen. Count runs to 1-1, and the official score has scored in an error. So Knight is aboard on the E3 and advances to second, so a two-base error has the tying run in scoring positions. Thompson swings, fouls that pitch off down the right side or down the left side. 1-2 the count to Talon Thompson. Again, top of the third inning from West Side, the Lady Hillbillies lead the Lady Renegades 10-0. No score update on the Lady Wildcats and Lady Pioneers out Wayne, nor the Hillbillies. Man, high school as Thompson swings and hits a drive into right field. It's going to get over the head of right fielder Luke Jordan. This is going to allow Luke Knight to score. Thompson rounds second. He's heading for third. He'll be in there with a stand-up triple and an RBI triple at that. And the game is tied at 2 runs apiece.
Big hit there by Talon Thompson. And Knight, as soon as that ball smacked off of the bat of Thompson, he was taking off. He wasn't stopping. He knew that ball was over the head of Jordan. He didn't held up until he got home to home plate, and that tied up the ball game now. And Brody Dalton, just like what he did back in the first inning, he has an opportunity with a runner at third, and if he can put this one down the first base line, that can score Talon Thompson from third and give Chapmanville the lead back.
Well, Dalton in his first plate appearance grounded out to the first baseman. That allowed Luke Knight to score as Dalton swings, fouls that one out of play. 0-1 to count to Brody Dalton, who again 0 for 1 with an RBI ground out back in the first inning. Luke Knight comes around to score after he reached base safely on an error. So that will be an unearned run charged to Wyatt Lester. Pitch on the way is outside, 1-1. The count evens up.
Dalton, good awareness to let that ball go into the dirt and and just not try to bite on that one. As Lester, he knows what he gave up to Thompson. He don't want to give up another hit like that to Dalton.
Dalton swings and fouls it off. Count will run to 1-2 now. And Daniel, on a day like this, temperatures in the mid 80s, probably right around 86, 87 degrees, maybe even the high 80s, depending on whatever the temperature is. But the ball tends to carry a lot better in warmer conditions, and we've already seen that here this evening as pitch on the way is taken for a ball. 2-2 the count. Case in point, the check swing fly out by Andrew Farley looked like a little routine fly ball, and that ball just kept carrying to the right fielder. And then Talon Thompson's triple that carried over the head of Luke Jordan in right. 2-2 the count to Brody Dalton. Pitch on the way. Swung on and hit down the right field line, but foul. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. And, we've seen some of these pitches. If Brody Dalton can get a hold of one just like Talon Thompson did and get it up in the jet stream, it may carry out of here for a 2-run home run.
Yep, and that right side is getting a workout with how Brody Dalton is hitting to that right side. So that's why Luke Jordan has now moved over. So did center fielder Simonton. The center fielder Simonton moved over now as Brody Dalton is hitting down that right side.
Pitch on the way, swung on, hit in the center field. The center fielder, Eli Simonton, backs up on it. This should be deep enough to tie the game as Talon Thompson comes in to score the go-ahead run deep enough to give Chapmanville a lead as Thompson comes in with the go-ahead run. 3-2, Chapmanville on top.
Yep, Brody Dalton does his job. He gets a fly out to center field. Thompson tags up from third, and just like that, Brody Dalton, he'll trade it out for an RBI, and now Chapmanville has the lead back.
Second RBI of the evening for Brody Dalton. Both of them resulting in outs. This one a sac fly. He's 0 for 1 with 2 RBIs. And Trey Butcher, the leading hitter on the Chapmanville Tiger squad, 467, 21 for 45 entering. He grounded out to second base back in first inning. Pitch outside. First pitch outside, second pitch outside, 2-0 the count to Trey Butcher.
Butcher just he's got a head on this count to see if he can try to get a charge on Wyatt Lester.
Pitch taken up high, 3-0 now the count to Trey Butcher. Lester back on the mound, worked quickly, pitch on the way. Outside ball 4. That is the first walk issued by Wyatt Lester, and that brings up the dangers. Andrew Farley, who flew out to right field back in the second inning.
Farley, again, the sirens are up for Andrew Farley every time he comes to the plate. 3 games in a row where he's hit a home run. He can keep his home run streak going here against Sissonville. He would love to keep it going, and right now Andrew Farley is playing like a first-team All-Stater in Class AA.
Pitch on the way is taken in the dirt, 1-0 the count to Farley. 0 for 1 with a fly out to right field in the second inning. Trey Butcher, the runner at first base for the Tigers after drawing a 2-out walk. 2 runs in for Chapmanville. They lead 3-2. Farley swings and fouls 1 at the plate. 1-1 to count.
The pitch was just a little bit low for Farley, and if you're Sissonville, you should have done your homework on Andrew Farley. You do not want to put one where between the belt and the numbers are. If you do, that ball is going to travel so far up to Sissonville it could land in their baseball field.
1-1 on the way. Pitch swung on, hit in left field for a base hit, and Chapmanville will have runners at first and second as Trey Butcher stops at second. On the play, Joey Canterbury, the batter. Canterbury was hit by the pitch back in the second inning.
Joey Canterbury is going to try to do the job as a pitcher-on-pitcher crime right here to bring home Butcher and see if he can get on base. Maybe bring home Butcher and move him to third with Jacob Topping coming up bat after Joey Canterbury.
Pitch upstairs for the ball, 1-0 the count to Canterbury, who came in to this evening's contest hitting .245, 13 for 53, 4 doubles, 9 RBIs. He's got an opportunity here to drive home number 10 on the year and takes a pitch outside, 2-0 the count.
And the pitch count is now starting to get up here for Wyatt Lester, and you just got to be thinking, if Wyatt Lester is pulled, who do you think Sissonville has in the bullpen ready to relieve Lester?
Pitch on the way, 3-0 the count. And quickly, member of the Sissonville coaching staff come out and talk to Lester, try to settle him down. His count's 3-0. He's thrown 55 pitches, but here lately he's been struggling a little bit with his command, as just in the last inning, he has hit a batter and walked a batter. He hit Canterbury in the second, and he has walked Trey Butcher with 2 outs in this third inning.
Yeah, and I think that's Coach Carpenter coming out to talk to went out there to talk to Lester, trying to get him settled down, trying to get him to just try to settle in, throw strikes, and get out number 3 so Sissonville can avoid putting up more damage that Chapmanville is causing to them.
Chapmanville led 1-0 after 1. Sissonville played at 2 runs in the top of the third. Canterbury taking all the way. Takes a pitch at the knees for a called strike. 3-1. Sissonville with the 2 runs in the top of the third took a 2-1 lead. But Chapmanville has since answered with 2 unearned runs in the bottom of the third. They lead 3-2, looking for more with runners on first and second, as Canterbury swings and misses. Count now runs full, 3-2. Now throw down to second base. Don't know what was going on there. What Trey Butcher was going, he had to hustle back to second. I thought maybe that was strike 3, but instead it's a full count to Joey Canterbury.
Now Canterbury with full count. Can he get a base hit here and drive home Butcher? And Sissonville, they're just looking desperately, needing to get this out and avoid the damage that Chapmanville has done in this inning.
3-2 pitch on the way. Here it comes, and Canterbury will take upstairs for the ball, and he has drawn a 2-out walk, and that will load the bases for Jacob Topping.
And Topping, if you're not careful, he can get a base hit here, put one either in the gap or put one in front of the fielders, as he's just that talented batter as well as a talented pitcher. And now we get a courtesy runner for the Chapmanville Tigers. Looks like Messer is going to come back in to run for Joey Canterbury.
Eli Messer ran for Canterbury back in the second inning. He's back out there for the third inning as curveballs upstairs, 1-0 the count to Jacob Topping. And your Wyatt Lester, you got nowhere to put Canterbury. You can ill afford to walk him and walk in another run. You have to be careful with how you pitch Canterbury. So 1-0 the count, pitch on the way. Swung on and fouled off the headgear of the umpire and to the backstop. 1-1 to count.
The umpire took a beam to the head off of that foul tip ball from Topping, and he's all right. He's shaking it off, but Topping just got a little low on that, just able to foul tip it off of the mask of the umpire. Maybe if that ball was just a little bit low, that looked like a good shot for Topping.
1-1, 2 outs, pitch on the way. Outside, 2-1 to count to Jacob Topping. Again, just joining us on WVOW, or if you're watching on Video Productions, Chapmanville in front of Sissonville, 3-2, 2 outs, 2-1, bottom of the third inning, and Canterbury with a healthy rip comes up empty, 2-2, the count evens up.
Right now, bases loaded. You can't miss this opportunity if you're Chapmanville. You want to try to do more damage and get more runs in.
Pitch swung on and bounced to the right side. A good stop by Tanner Griffin as that ball looked like it was going to get over his head in the right field, but Griffin leaps and is able to corral it and throw to Comer in time to retire the Tigers in the bottom half of the third inning. But Chapmanville plates 2 runs. Chapmanville plates 2 runs on 1 hit and leave the bases loaded. 3 innings in the books from Ted Ellis Field. Chapmanville 3, Sissonville 2. This is Chapmanville Tiger Baseball on Video Productions and WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. First pitch swinging. Tanner Griffin is going to be able to reach on a throwing error by the shortstop, Talon Thompson, as Thompson's throw pulled first baseman Andrew Farley off the bag. So leadoff runner aboard for the Indians, and Wyatt Lester shows bunt, pulls back, takes the ball, 1-0 the count. Lester shows bunt again, gets it down. Moore charges, Fields throws over in time to Farley, covering at first base, and Talon Thompson alertly breaks for the bag at third base to keep Tanner Griffin at second.
Yeah, good awareness there by Thompson to get over there as Moore was charging under, and Leston Griffith was ready to round third. He thought about going to third, but Farley ran him back to second, and now Alex McCollum is coming up to the plate, and he got things started for Sissonville back in the back in the third inning.
Yeah, McCollum led off with a single and was advanced all the way to third before he was erased 5-2 on a fielder's choice off the bat of Tristan Ports. He swings and fouls. Pitch out of play, 0-1 to count to McCollum. Again, 1 for 1 with a single. Bill Lusk, Daniel Miller with you from Ted Ellis Field. Pitch at the knees for a called strike, 1-2 the count.
Good
pitch. Or excuse, 0-2 the count.
Good pitch there by Canterbury. And how big would this strikeout be to get out number 2 and try to avoid Sissonville to grabbing the momentum back?
Pitch outside. Now the count runs 1-2. I was kind of predicting the next pitch, so I predicted correctly that time.
Usually my predictions are wrong. Look at my March Madness bracket this year.
I won my poll as that pitch is in the dirt, 2-2. 2-2 the count.
My bracket was so bad I end up second. That just tells you. And I know that, but the first person who won in front of me, they didn't win by that much. And we had low scores.
Pitch on the way in the dirt, 3-2 the count. Actually, I entered 3 brackets in a poll with some of my buddies, and I actually finished first and second out of my 3 brackets. Pitch on the way is called strike, and that is strikeout number 2 for Joey Canterbury, and 2 outs in the top half of the 4th inning.
Nice pitch by Canterbury for a second there. I thought that was maybe ball 4, but Canterbury, good placement right there. And now Eli Simonton coming up, and a base hit here from Simonton. He can do it. Can give Sissonville a tie ball game with Chapmanville.
Pitch is in the dirt, 1-0 the count. Back to the 3-2 pitch on Alex McCollum. I'm like you. I thought it was a little bit low, too, at first, but where we're setting up, we can't really see where the catcher's setting up or where the ball crosses the plate. That pitch apparently was at the knees, good enough for a called strike, and that pitch is indeed a called strike, kind of the same pitch. This one on the inside corner at the knees, 1-1, count evens up to Eli Simonton. Canterbury checking the runner, pitch on the way, swung on and hit into left field for a base hit. They're going to wave the runner there as Lucas Price came in charging and is unable to come up with it. So it's going to be an RBI single for Tanner Griffin and Sissonville. Tanner Griffin scores from second on the RBI single by Eli Simonton, his second hit of the evening. And Sissonville has evened the contest at 3 runs apiece.
That's what Sissonville can do. They can swing a bat and make it a brand new ball game as we're dead even now. And Jacob Coleman with Simonton on second, he can try to bring him home and give Sissonville the lead back.
Coleman had a single back in the 3rd inning and scored on the 2-run single by Nathaniel Simonton, the cleanup hitter. Coleman 1 for 1 behind in the count, 0-1. Pitch on the way, taken for a called strike, 0-2 now the count as Sissonville has managed to tie the game at 3 on a single. Pitch on the way is in the dirt and it gets by, and we'll get to the backstop, and it will get pinned behind the mat. And Brody Dalton can't find it, and it's stuck behind the net. And now he finds it, and Joey Canterbury will get a new baseball after the home plate umpire inspects the old one.
Yeah, just got away from Dalton there. And Dalton is really usually a good catcher there. He can block any ball. He's got that 6'4", 6'5" frame. That pass balls don't really get by Dalton. It's just there. Now, Sissonville's got a runner 90 feet away from the plate. Can they capitalize?
1-2, that pitch taken for a ball, 2-2 the count now to Eli Symington with the go-ahead run. Or Jacob Coleman, the batter, the go-ahead run, Eli Symington at third base. 2-2 on the way, pitch in the dirt, good block by Dalton. 3-2 now the count to Coleman.
Last time Canterbury had a full count on a Sissonville batter, he struck him out, and that was McCollum. Let's see if he can do it again and sit down Sissonville in this inning.
3-2 on the way, pitch taken upstairs for a ball. And Jacob Coleman draws a walk, and that'll bring Tristan Ports to the plate. Ports 0 for 1, grounded out. He hit into a fielder's choice in the third inning and walked back in the first.
Yeah, Ports, Ports, he's a productive batter for Sissonville. You can't say much more about him. He can get the job done, and right now with Sissonville with a runner scoring, all it takes is one hit from Ports, and Sissonville's got the lead back.
Pitch swung on, hit over the head of Talon Thompson and into center field for a base hit, and Ports comes through with his team leading 14th run driven in, and it gives Sissonville a 4-3 lead as Symington scores from third on the play.
Both teams are just trading runs back and forth with each other. Chapmanville scored one run, then Sissonville scored 2 runs in the top of the third. Now then Chapmanville scores 2 runs in the bottom, and now Sissonville scored 2 runs. So both teams are just trading back and forth runs with each other.
Pitch on the way, swung on and bounced to short. Thompson Fields throws in time over to first to retire Nathaniel Symington. And the Indians in the top half of the fourth inning, but not before they plate 2 runs on 2 hits and leave 2 runners stranded. 3.5 innings in the books. It is Sissonville 4, Chapmanville 3. This is Chapmanville Tigers baseball on Video Productions and WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Swings at the first pitch and records an out as Braylon Moore flies out to Eli Symington in center field. 1 pitch, 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Sissonville leading Chapmanville 4-3. And now Eli Surgoin, the designated hitter of the batter. He'll swing at the first pitch, hit it in left field and over the head of the left fielder Alex McCullough as Surgoin hustling into second base. He has it. He's thinking about 3. Here he comes, and he will pull up with a stand-up triple and a tying run 90 feet away, and Luke Knight coming to bat.
Good hit by Eli Surgoin. He got that ball just enough over McCollum's head and gets to the wall, and with that he takes advantage, and now he's third, and Now Chapmanville has the dangerous Luke Knight to the plate, and one swing of the bat for Luke Knight can tie up this ball game again, as this is now a common theme. Both teams are trading hits and probably trading runs throughout in this contest.
Luke Knight looking for his second hit of the evening. Takes a pitch in the dirt for a ball. 1-0 the count. Knight 1 for 2, single, and a run scored back in the first, and reached on an error in the third inning and came around to score. So 1 for 2 with a run scored, and he hits a drive into center field, and it's going right center field. It's going to find its way to the gap and bounce off the wall. Knight is hustling around second base. The throw comes in. He's going to have a sliding triple, back-to-back triples for the Chapmanville Tigers, and we are tied 4-4 as coming in to score is Eli Surgoin.
Luke Knight does his job and scores Eli Surgoin, and now Talon Thompson can have the privilege to get Chapmanville the lead back. As Bill, we was saying before the broadcast, both teams may have a slow start.
Not necessarily the case.
No.
We've not played 4 complete innings, and we have 8 runs on the scoreboard and a combination of 12 hits as Talon Thompson takes a pitch at the letters for a called strike. 0-1 to count. Thompson, he is 1 for 2 with a triple back in the third that produced an RBI and scored. That pitch swung, hit at the third baseman. He's not going to have a play at home as he throws it into the dirt and it gets away. And Thompson will cruise in to second base on the throwing error, give him an RBI on the play as Luke Knight comes in to score. So it's second RBI for Talon Thompson.
Yeah, that looked like Coleman was going to throw home, but he knew it, but he saw where Porch was out of position and Knight was almost ready to touch home plate before he can even make the throw. So he hesitated, throw over to first, and it's just with that, just a little bit of a hesitation there, made an error throw, and now Chapmanville's tied up the ball game.
I'm not even sure he even looked home, and now Brody Dalton grounds to second base, and that's going to be Tanner Griffin flipping over to Comer for the second out. 4-3 on the putout. Moving up to third is Talon Thompson. Chapmanville, just like they did in the third inning when Sissonville played 2 runs, Chapmanville answered with 2 runs. In the top half of the fourth inning, Sissonville has played 2 runs, and Chapmanville has answered with 2 of their own. In the bottom of the fourth, they have retaken a 5-4 lead as Dalton doing what he does best. He's moving runners up. Pitch to Trey Butcher inside for a call strike. 1-0 the count. Brody Dalton 0 for 2, 2 RBIs, but every at-bat has been very productive. It's either plated runs or moved runners up. Pitch to Butcher, gets by. Here comes Thompson. He will score easily from third base, on the pass ball as that ball got through the legs of Tristan Ports. So Chapmanville adds a 3rd run in the inning. They now lead 6-4.
And right now, Bill, just thinking about this, this is where the inning. This is usually the inning that Chapmanville likes to get it going around 4 through 6. And if Trey Butcher can get on base here, Andrew Farley's coming up to the plate, and look out.
Pitch on the outside corner called strike. 1-2 now the count to Trey Butcher, who's 0 for 1 with a ground out to second and a walk. 1-2 on the way. Pitch swung on, hit the second baseman, and Griffin fields, throws in time to retire Butcher and the Tigers in the bottom half of the fourth inning. But Chapmanville plates 3 runs on 3 hits. 3 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, no runners left on base. 4 innings complete. Chapmanville 6, Sissonville 4. This is Chapmanville Tigers Baseball on Video Productions and WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Fifth inning from Ted Ellis Field, 6-4 Chapmanville leads as Luke Jordan swings at an 0-2 pitch and grounds out to Luke Knight at second base for the first out. Now the batter is Austin Pridemore, and he'll look at a pitch inside for a ball, 1-0 the count.
Yeah, we were talking about first pitch. He missed it, but that's how aggressive Sissonville is in this contest.
That pitch taken for a called strike, 1-1 to count to Austin Pridemore, the designated hitter for the Indians, 0 for 2. Now he is down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Right now, if you're Sissonville, it's been the theme of trading runs with Sissonville and Chapmanville, as this is the battle of the Ville, Bill, and who's going to get on top of this to see if Pridemore can get a base hit here.
Pitch is in the dirt, 2-2. The count evens up. As you mentioned, that's a good point, Daniel. This is the battle of the Ville, Chapmanville and Sissonville, tonight on WVOW and Video Productions. That pitch swung on a miss by Pridemore, and that is strikeout number 3 for Joey Canterbury. Tomorrow night, WVOW radio coverage of Logan and Nitro, Battle of the Wildcats.
Yep, I guarantee you a Wildcat will win that game. Dumb cliche. Sorry, I had to get that out of there.
Well, I would hope the Wildcats would win tomorrow, considering they're both playing. But the batter now is Tanner Griffin, and he will line a hit in the left field that gets down in front of Lucas Price for a 2-out single. Griffin is aboard for the third time this evening, as he has 2 hits and reached on an error and scored back in the fourth.
And right now, here comes Wyatt Lester, the pitcher for Sissonville. He's 0 for 2 today on a fly out and a ground out. He would love to erase that 0-2 on the day and get his first hit and get on base for the first time for Sissonville to move the runner in scoring position. Pitch
to Wyatt Lester, taken upstairs for a ball, 1-0 the count. This broadcast wouldn't be possible without all the help that we get and all the assistance, and I haven't forgotten about anybody. It was just a fast-moving game that we haven't had the opportunity to thank those people that get us on the air, as that pitch is 2-0 the count. First off, our WVOW studio engineer, Hunter Gibson, back in the studios keeping us on the air and doing a great job. And our crew here at Video Productions, as the pitch on the way is in the dirt, 3-0 the count. To my right, manning the control board that gets you all the video and stuff back home on your computer screen, Sydney Mayo, doing a good job. And probably for the first time this year, as that pitch is a ball 4, and Wyatt Lester draws a walk, first and second for the Indians with 2 outs. But, Daniel, probably for the first time this year, Robbie Mounts up on top of the press box at Ted Ellis Field in very favorable conditions. I think the last 2 times he's been up there, he's just about been blown off by a windstorm. But, he's up there tonight in this 87-degree heat. So he's probably working on his suntan up there.
Yeah, he's working on a suntan as that pitch is in there for strike 1 to Alex McCollum. But, yeah, he's up there. The last game we had a little bit of a wind, almost it damaged the camera, and now we're running fine. Hopefully we can keep this way for the remainder of the broadcast.
Pitch swung on a miss by McCollum. He's in an 0-2 hole. Nothing can be as bad as that Scott Chapmanville 9-inning game when you had the major windstorm up there and plus cold temperatures. But, Robbie braved through those conditions and got the images back to you up on top of the press box. So, Robbie does a good job. We like to kid with him from time.
We're always going to kid with Robbie.
Yeah, pitch swung on, hit in the left field on a 1-2 count, and Lucas Price will make a running catch to retire the side in the 5th inning for the Sissonville Indians. They get a hit and leave 2 runners aboard. And through 4.5 innings, it's Chapmanville 6, Sissonville 4. What we're going to do, we're going to keep things right here and kind of break down the action that has transpired here thus far. And Daniel, get your thoughts as now if this game is official.
This game has been honestly well played at the plate. Both teams are coming out swinging. Both teams are making good contact with the balls, and they're getting runs in. Chapmanville leads 6-4. This is the closest Chapmanville's been in 5 innings since the Winfield game, and you couldn't ask for a better played game on the mound at home plate. Chapmanville, as advertised, they're hitting the ball very well. And then Sissonville, they may be 4-11, but don't let that fool you, as this team is better than their record. They play tough competitions, and a lot of their losses have come within 2 or 1 runs. So Sissonville is very well advertised for a team that lost some key players from last season, returned some players from to this year. But right now, both teams are just playing very well, and you just couldn't ask for anything better, Bill.
White Lester coming to the mound for his 5th inning of work for the Sissonville Indians. And the line score right now for Chapmanville, they have 6 runs, 5 hits. They've committed an error and left 4 runners on base. For Sissonville, 4 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors committed in the field, and 8 runners left on base, Daniel, for the Sissonville Indians.
That's not going to win you ball games when you leave that many runners on base. But right now, Andrew Farley's coming up, and the sirens are alert for Andrew Farley with 1 swing of the bat. He's due around this time, around this part of the game. He can put one out of here, and if he does, that streak will continue at 4 games. He's hit a home run.
First pitch outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. Next pitch swung on, hit in the left field, hit pretty well. The left fielder is back, looks up, and yet again, for the 4th straight game, Andrew Farley has went yard. 5 home runs in 4 games for Farley.
Wouldn't it? Do you think every time Andrew Farley just come to the plate, if you're just an opponent, why don't you just walk him, or just maybe, just intentionally walk him or something? Because around this time of the inning, at this time of the game, I mentioned put on the sirens. He's due for one, and he did it again, as this kid has just been an unbelievable hitter for the Chapmanville Tigers. And he's only a junior, Bill. He's got another year with Chapmanville. And if this is junior year, I can't wait to see what senior year has to offer.
7-4 Chapmanville leads now, as those watching on video productions saw our Little General Stores replay. And Daniel, when I saw it live, it really didn't look like Farley really swung all that much, as 0-1 pitch from Canterbury's popped up on the infield, and Tanner Griffin will make the play. Again, Tanner Griffin has been a very busy man on this infield for the Sissonville Indians, as he records yet another putout.
Yeah, he's been busy for the Sissonville Indians. But going back to what you said for Andrew Farley, it didn't look like he carried much. I couldn't see the ball after he hit it, but that's because I was wearing sunglasses. I now took them off. But Andrew Farley, my Lord, what more can you do, young man?
Jacob Topping, the batter, he swings and fouls one off the screen. 0-1 to count to Jacob Topping, who is 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. To the second baseman, Tanner Griffin. Yet again, we tell you, he's been very busy. He's either had a putout or an assist in every inning thus far, as that pitch swung on and fouled out of play. 0-2 the count to Jacob Topping.
Jacob Topping's one of those senior leaders for the team that you're going to miss him on the mound, and you're just going to miss his senior leadership IQ. He's one of the smartest players that Chapmanville has on this ball team.
0-2, 1 out. Pitch on the way. Swung on, hit in between the hole, and there's one that gets by Tanner Griffin into right field. 4-base hit. Hit number 7 for the Chapmanville Tigers, and a 1-out base runner aboard for Braylon Moore, as Jacob Topping got one by Griffin, who has 5 assists and 2 putouts on the evening in the field for the Sissonville Indians.
Braylon Moore, kind of reminiscent to the man game, had a slow start, and then he got his hit around the latter part of the game. See if he can get a hit here as Lester steps on the mound. But Braylon Moore is due a hit, and he's one of those guys. He may be batting 8th, but he is still one of those reliable hitters as Chapmanville is dangerous 1 through 9, Bill.
As Chapmanville team, I mean, the lineups, when you look at the averages from top to bottom, and you get down to the bottom of this lineup from Chapmanville, and you get the guys that are, hitting 250 or less, that doesn't mean that they're not dangerous, as you mentioned. As that pitch is taken for a ball, as Moore ducks out of the way, 1-0 the count. As before the first pitch, Lester threw over at first to see if maybe Topping was leaning a little bit to try to tip his hand, but Topping gets back in safely. So 1-0 the count to Moore. Pitch on the way is swung on and hit up the middle, and it's going to get through for a hit as Symington charges and thought about getting it back in to the second baseman, Griffin, but Topping is there in time. So single for Moore, his first hit of the day, and Chapmanville's 8th hit, third of this inning.
Chapmanville is just, again, Bill, I've said this so many times, and I'm just going to keep saying it until someone proves me wrong. Chapmanville is the best hitting team in this state, and it's proven 1 through 9. And Surgoin, his last at-bat, he got a triple. So let's see if Surgoin can repeat what he did back in the 4th inning.
Pitch to Surgoin on the way, swung on, popped up on the infield. That'll be an infield fly roll as Surgoin will be retired. And making the play is the third baseman, Jacob Coleman. So 2 away for Luke Knight, who is 2 for 3 with 3 runs scored and an RBI.
Luke Knight is one of those dangerous hitters and dangerous leadoff man. Transfer from Scott High School, comes over. He now takes the role of the leadoff hitter for Chapmanville, and he's only a junior, and he's back next year for Chapmanville. He's just one of those dangerous hitters. He can beat you with his bat, and he can beat you with his legs too.
Pitch on the way is swung on and hit along the line of first. That's going to be the first baseman, Comer. He will dive to the bag to beat Luke Knight. Good play by Owen Comer to retire the side in the 5th inning and save another run. But the Tigers get a run on the Andrew Farley home run. They get 3 hits in the inning and leave 2 runners on base. 5 innings in the books from Ted Ellis Field. It's Chapmanville 7, Sissonville 4. This is Chapmanville Tiger Baseball and Video Productions and WVOW Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Inning from Ted Ellis Field, Chapmanville leads 7-4, and Eli Symington steps into the box. 1, 2, 3 for the Indians. Symington, Jacob Coleman, Tristan Ports. Symington takes a pitch for a called strike. New pitcher for the Tigers, Andrew Farley, and that pitch swung on a miss. 0-2 the count.
Farley steps in on the mound, and that moves Canterbury over to first base. That's the only change I see in the field for Chapmanville, and Farley, he's doing a good job at leading 0-2 on the count.
Pitch in the dirt, 1-2 the count to Eli Symington. Final score from Westside in 3 innings. Lady Hillbillies 21, Westside 0. It's another no-hitter for the Lady Hillbillies, but it's not Morgan Cooper as this pitch is in the dirt. 2-2 the count evens up. It's Maddie Carroll that throws the no-hitter for the High School Lady Hillbillies. So they are victorious 21-0 over the Westside Renegades. And Mann pounds out 20 hits in the contest.
Bill, question: did Mann play Westside in football this year? If so, I got to know the score and see if they actually went over the score there for Mann and Westside.
Pitch on the way is outside No, actually, it is a called strike 3 on the outside corner, and Symington thought he had ball 4, and he was on his way down to first base. And that is strikeout number 1 for the Chapmanville Tiger relief pitcher, Andrew Farley, as one away in the top half of the 6th. Pitch on the way to Jacob Coleman, swung on a miss. 0-1 the count. And Daniel, they did play, and Mann scored more than 21 in that game. I do know. I think Mann scored something in the 40s, I believe it was. I think it was like 41-14 maybe. So pitch on the way, swung on a miss. 0-2 the count, because I remember the game very well because Jordan Adams returned the opening kickoff for the Hillbillies to set the tone in that contest. Pitch on the way, 0-2 is upstairs, 1-2 the count.
And the reason why I had to ask is because 21-0 is just ridiculous. That is unbelievable.
And 3 innings at
in
that.
In 3 innings, that's even more scary.
Pitch on the way, 1-2, swung on and fouled out of play. Count will remain 1 ball, 2 strikes. And in softball, unlike baseball, there is a 15-run rule in softball after 3 innings. Baseball is just it's 10 runs after 5 innings regardless. You've got 21, 10, and 8 in softballs. That pitch is fouled off of Coleman in the box. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. So if there wasn't a 15-run rule in the 3rd inning and they had to go on, it's hard telling how many runs Mann may have scored. And Westside is a very young program. A lot of inexperience on that. This pitch is fouled off. 1-2 remains the count. Westside young, a lot of inexperience on that roster. A lot of girls that are just playing softball for the first time this season. And they're talking from the coach last year. He's trying to get the program built back up, and hopefully they'll get it built back up to where they can be competitive and compete for sectionals and regional championships. As that pitch is outside, 2-2 the count. Pitch at the knees, called strike. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the 6th inning. And 2 away, and Tristan Ports the batter.
Yeah, back-to-back strikeouts for Andrew Farley, and they both been the Sissonville batters looking. And now Ports coming up, his last at-bat, he got a single with an RBI. And he tried to get something going here in the 6th inning for Sissonville.
Pitch swung on and fouled out of play, 0-1 the count to Tristan Ports, who is 1 for 2 with an RBI single back in the 4th, reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd, and walked in the 1st. Farley's 0-1 on the way, and it's taken for a ball outside, 1-1 to count. Farley in relief of Joey Canterbury, 5 innings pitched, 4 runs, 2 of those 4 were earned, 8 hits, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks, 1-1 on the way, inside for a ball, 2-1 to count.
Right now, Farley's just trying to sit this in Sissonville order, the top, the heavy heart of the lineup for the Indians, 1, 2, 3, and if he can do that, then Chapmanville can be in good position to probably put this game out of reach for Sissonville in the bottom of the 6th.
Pitch is a called strike on the inside corner at Denise, 2-2 the count to Tristan Ports. Farley, 1 strike away from striking out the side in the 6th. Here comes, and a little check swing off the end of the bat. Foul off the dugout, 2-2 remains the count.
Luckily, Tristan Ports was able to get a piece of that ball. If not, that could have been strike 3 right there, and Sissonville would have had to been sit down in order.
Pitch on the way, backs Ports off the plate, nearly hit him, 3-2 the count, runs full.
Usually I would say get hit by the ball, but after my incident, I ain't going to say that no more for the remainder of the year.
3-2, 2 outs, pitch on the way, swung on, bounced to short. Thompson to his left, fields, throws over in time, but the throw will 1 hop over Joey Canterbury, and Ports will be able to take second base on the throw.
Good throw by good. It was a good design play right there to get him out. It was right on time. Good by Farley. Just got a little bit of away from Joey Canterbury, and just nothing you could do there for Canterbury. It just had an awkward bounce coming into his glove. He couldn't get to it. So now after that error throw, Sissonville's got a runner in scoring position, and see if Nathaniel Simonton, who got a 2 RBI single back in the 3rd inning, can do something here to give Sissonville back into this game.
Nathaniel Simonton, as Daniel mentioned, 1 for 3, 2-run single in that 3rd inning. He's also grounded into double play and grounded out to short as 1-0 offering is popped up and fouled into the seats. Count remains, where count now runs to 1 ball, 1 strike, as that cleared a few people down there in the bleachers to our left.
I know how that feels like, Bill. That's scary right there when a ball's coming at you just like that. You have no – it's like you have a little bit of awareness where that ball can travel in the air like that. Luckily, no one was hurt. But now Simonton has a 1-1 count, and all Sissonville needs is just one base hit here to build some spark back for this Indian ball club.
Pitch in the dirt for a ball, 2-1 to count to Symington, who's looking to continue this inning. Maybe he can get a base hit and score points from second and draw Sissonville closer as that pitch swung on, hit to Thompson. He'll field, set his feet, throw over across the diamond in time to retire Symington and the Indians in the top half of the sixth inning. Nothing doing for the Indians. They get a base runner by an error, but leave him stranded. 5.5 innings in the books from Chapmanville, West Virginia. It's Chapmanville 7, Sissonville 4. This is Chapmanville Tigers baseball on Video Productions and WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Count to Talon Thompson, who's leading off for the Chapmanville Tigers after he swung and fouled off the first pitch from Lester, who is still out there. And that pitch swung on, and it's going to take a tricky hop. And Nathaniel Symington can't find it as he came in and deflected off his glove and bounced into center field. And Eli Symington will retrieve the ball for the Sissonville Indians, Nitro Wildcats. That'll be tomorrow when they play Logan. But Thompson is aboard to start the sixth for the Chapmanville Tigers, and Brody Dalton, the batter, 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts and a sac fly. Pitch outside for a ball, as that is scored an error on Symington. So that is the third error of the afternoon for Sissonville.
Yeah, that did look like an error. It could have been called by Symington, but just missed it there, and Brody just fouled that one off. But Talon Thompson's on. Chapmanville takes advantage of it, and now just Bill, the way this is going, you got Butcher and then the dangerous Farley coming up after Dalton. This could spell doom for Sissonville if they can't sit Brody, get these 3 outs in order to try to come back in this game, only trailing by 3 runs.
1-1 to count to Dalton. The pitch. Thompson breaks for second, and he will have a stolen base as the throw is late from the catcher, Tristan Porch. Good job by Talon Thompson to steal second base. He got a good jump, and that is the third steal for the Tigers this evening.
Good jump by Thompson, able to get there. And now Brody Dalton knows he got to do a job. He's brought in 2 RBIs today. Can he get his third?
Pitch swung on, hit in left field. That ball's carrying. The left fielder will camp under it and make the play as McCollum retires. Dalton with the first out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And for the first time this evening, Daniel, Brody Dalton has put the ball in play that didn't result in a runner moving up.
Yep, he didn't. As right now, Chapmanville's got Trey Butcher coming up to the plate. He's 0 for 3 today on 2 groundouts. Can he get the base hit to need and try to move Thompson over, and that bring up the dangerous Andrew Farley? If Butcher's on base and so is Thompson, you can't walk Farley because that'll load the bases.
Pitch on the way. Thompson breaks for third. The throw down is going to be in plenty enough time to retire Talon Thompson on the caught stealing. 2-5 if you're scoring at home with us. 2 away and 1-1 to count to Trey Butcher.
Farley Thompson just got a late jump in there, but good job by Tristan Ports. Was able to get that catcher from that pitch and throw down to Coleman. And right there, a runner just erased for Chapmanville.
1-1 to count. Pitch on the way is inside. 2-1 the count to Trey Butcher. Yeah, it was a textbook throw by Ports from behind the plate as he was able to retrieve the pitch, and then he fired a throw that was low enough that the third baseman Jacob Coleman was able to catch, and Coleman didn't even have to move his glove as he caught it, and Thompson slid into the tag as the pitch is outside for a ball. 3-1 to count.
And Bill, you would have to think if Trey Butcher gets on here with a ball 4, do you walk Andrew Farley? I would. Just that's my personal opinion.
We'll see what happens here as that pitch is swung on and hit into center field for a base hit. So now the question becomes, will Sissonville walk Farley or will they pitch to him even with a runner on first base and take their chances with Joey Canterbury, who's in the on-deck circle, he's 0 for 1 with a fly-out walk and hit by a pitch.
Yeah, right now that looks like they're going to keep Farley in. They're not going to walk him. Right now, that's a gutsy call there for Sissonville. If we saw back in the last inning, Farley one swing of the bat can make this a very, very much favorable game now for Chapmanville.
First pitch is a ball, 1-0 the count. I mean, you don't have to really intentionally walk Farley. You can issue the unintentional walk as that pitch is outside. 2-0 the count, and we may be seeing that here as White Lester is choosing to stay away from Farley, trying to paint the outside corner. He's behind in the count, 2 balls, 0 strikes. Pitch is curveball inside, 3-0. And, maybe at this point, maybe you just want to go ahead and give him the walk, 3-0. Because I've got to say, if this pitch is anywhere near the zone, I think Farley's hacking at it as much as he's been. And he does hack at it and hits it down the right field line, and it's going to get down for extra bases. Farley's going to at least have a double. As rounding second, heading to third is Butcher. Butcher coming around to score. So it's a 2-out double for Andrew Farley. And Daniel, just like I said, if that ball was anywhere near the strike zone, Andrew Farley, with as hot of a bat as he's got, was going to have the green light.
That's where I would have walked him. I wouldn't even gave him an opportunity if I was the Sissonville coach. I know that's one of the worst things a player can feel is being intentionally walked, but that just shows you that they take you serious, and that's just dangerous territory there. Now Joey Canterbury comes up with another runner in scoring position. Chapmanville for the multiple straight games I can see for Chapmanville, they have scored over 8 runs in a ball game.
Pitch is swung on a miss by Joey Canterbury. 0-1 to count as Farley has a double and a home run, 2 RBIs. 2-4 as pitch coming on the way is outside for a called strike. 0-2 the count as first I'll have to double check things here. Farley may have 3 hits. He does. I forgot to mark his single back in the third inning. So he's a triple shy of the cycle as Canterbury bounces this one to third. And the third baseman, Coleman, thought about fielding it and tagging Farley. There's just one problem. He didn't have the baseball.
Nope. It's that old saying I hear on TikTok. Which way did it go? Which way did it go? He couldn't know where the ball went, and Joey Canterbury takes advantage now. Chattanville's got runners in the corners, and Jacob Topping, a base hit here, can give Chapmanville another insurance run going into the top of the 7th. As I was correct, they are on a 5-game winning streak, not counting Sissonville, 5-game streak where they have scored over 8 runs in a ball game. So that just tells you how dangerous this Chapmanville batting order is.
Jacob Topping looking for his second hit. He singled back in the 5th inning, swings and misses on that pitch. 0-1 to count to Jacob Topping as Canterbury reached on an error. You could actually give Canterbury credit as the pitch is swung on and fouled 0-2. You can make the case that Joey Canterbury's on board for fielder's choice, and the error could go to the third baseman, which allowed Farley to reach. So, either way, it's not going to. Either way, it's going to hurt his batting average, whether it's a fielder's choice or an error. It's not like it's a sacrifice where it doesn't count. As Canterbury breaks for second, and I'll have to put the brakes on and retreat back to first as the pitch is fouled out of play. 0-2 the count.
Yeah, Canterbury had a good charge on that one, but Topping just doing everything he can to stay alive. He doesn't want to go down on strikes. But right now, if you're Chapmanville, you would just love to have Topping get on base here, get a base hit, and just add that insurance run, get the 9th run of this contest for Chapmanville.
0-2 on the way. Canterbury goes again, and he'll have second stolen as Tristan Ports came up with the pitch on the outside corner, and he was looking to gun it to third base to see if Farley was leaning far enough. But I think right now the success for Chapmanville here as the pitch 1-2 on the way is taken for a ball, 2-2 the count. And I think that the success for Chapmanville here has been the fact that they've put the ball in play and they've hit it to somebody other than Tanner Griffin at second base.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a good job for Chapmanville.
Pitch outside. Now the count runs full. So Topping, who was behind in the count, 0 balls, 2 strikes, has battled back. And the count now 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs and a run in. 8-4. Chapmanville leads in the bottom of the 6th. And Wyatt Lester, I do believe it. Now the question is, did Lester commit a balk or did he step off? And the field umpire says indeed that he stepped off. I'm like the home plate umpire. It looked like a balk to me, but the field umpire overruled him. So pitch upstairs, ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Braylon Moore.
And Bill, that is curtain call for Wyatt Lester as he's reached the 110 pitch limit, and now his night is done, and we're going to see who does Sissonville turn to, and it looks like it might be the right fielder. No, it's going to. We're looking to see who it is. He might be bringing someone out of the bullpen. Someone is coming down from the bullpen.
No motion yet as the outfielders will converge with Eli Symington out in center field. So it's not anybody in the outfield.
It's number 25.
Andrew Chapman has been one of the guys that comes in relief. He's making his 5th appearance for Sissonville with a 6.56 ERA. He does have 1 save on the year. He's only pitched in 5 1/3 innings, giving up 9 hits, 11 runs, only 5 of them earned, walked 3, struck out 4, and has hit 1 batter. So Andrew Chapman comes in to take over for Wyatt Lester on the mound. Lester did a good job of battling. You got to give him credit. I mean, he did give up the 8 runs, and he's still responsible for the guys on the base paths. But, if not for his defense, he would be out of this inning.
Yeah, he would have been out.
Just the defense behind him that's committed 4 errors.
Yep, 4 errors, and that's not good for a system. That's not going to win you ball games. Prime example down at Logan and Winfield. Bill, I mean, I can't remember that game off the top of my head, but please remind us, folks, the entire
the entire game. I mean, it was 4-3. Okay, 4-3 was the final score, and I happened to be at Whitman watching my nephew play. They were playing, and this is odd. I remember this very well because Logan Middle School was playing Winfield. Logan High School softball was at Winfield. Logan baseball was at Winfield. So how the Winfield Middle School softball team didn't come down and play Logan, I don't know. And I'm sure, if there was a Tiddlywinks contest going on, Logan and Winfield would have been playing in it as well. But the weird, I mean, that was just the weird part about it. But
you just want to throw this out for Winfield fans. They swept Logan in that day. All softball, baseball, and middle school baseball.
All three games were very competitive.
They were very competitive.
But in that game, Logan had just one hit in the contest, and Logan batters walked 8 times and was hit 7 times. So 15 extra base runners as Braylon Moore takes a pitch on the outside corner for a called strike, 0-1 to count. 15 extra base runners with the 8 walks and the 7 hit batters. And you throw in the fact that Winfield made 3 errors as that pitch is swung on, hit in the center field, and it is hit right at Eli Symington, who makes the catch for the final out. In the bottom half of the 6th inning, as Chapmanville will play to run on 2 hits. There was an error, and they leave the bases loaded. So 6 innings in the books, Chapmanville 8, Sissonville 4. What we're going to keep things right here as, we're going to get back to the point about the Logan-Winfield game. But, Logan had 18 extra base runners in that game, still just had 1 hit and 3 runs. And we were going back and forth. I was keeping up to date with the Logan-Winfield softball game, and Amy Williamson, Garrett Williamson's mother, had the Logan game on her game changer. So we were back and forth telling what's going on, and then I happened to look at it, and I seen all the hit batters and the walks, and I'm like, how's this game not even close to what it was? Because if you would have told somebody that Logan committed 6 errors in the field, somebody would have been like, oh, what's the score, 15-14? No, final score was 4-3.
Yeah, that was very low scoring. And for the fans at home wondering why we're talking about Logan-Winfield game, we're getting back to the point where Sissonville has committed 4 errors. But just like that, even though you commit errors, you can still technically be in a ball game, and Sissonville's only trailing 8-4, just like how Logan only lost to Winfield 4-3. So errors are not great on your part, but just because you make those errors doesn't mean that you're going to get blown out. Just depends on how the other side of the team does, too, because where Sissonville's made 4 errors, Chapmanville has made 2 errors themselves.
Yeah, and let's get this. I want to make it straight. Nobody's perfect.
No.
Even the major leaguers make errors.
Mm-hmm.
Even the major leaguers issue walks. I think the Oakland A's walked like 17 New York Mets the other day in a 17-6 in a 17-6 win. And really looking at the Oakland A's, they're like 3-16 on the year right now. And I'll sit here and make the point that I think this Chapmanville Tiger team could beat that Oakland A's team because they resemble a single A and a double A program.
Yeah, don't tell
They're
Billy
that
Bean
bad.
that. Don't tell Billy Bean that because he believes in it.
If he's listening to us and watching on video production, he just found out how bad he is. That pitch for Luke Jordan is taken for a ball as it bounces up to the plate. 1-0 the count. Jordan swings and gets jammed inside. Moore fields the grounder, throws in time to first to Canterbury. 5-3 on the putout, 1 away, and the Indians are down to their last 2 outs.
Yeah, we're sorry about that, Oakland Athletic fans right there. But good
Moneyball ain't working this year.
No, not this year, but 2002, it worked great. But
they're gonna have to go to a different form of Moneyball, and it's called free agency and signing players. But then at that point, I don't know who wants to come to Oakland and play because
no one wants to be in Oakland right now.
Yeah, Austin Pridemore takes a pitch outside for a ball, but they may be on the verge of moving to Las Vegas, and that could open up the pockets for Billy Bean and the A's a little bit in a new stadium. Pitch on the way in the dirt, 1-1 to count to Austin Pridemore, who is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a fly out to left field.
Yeah, and Las Vegas has become everything. They're just stealing everything from Oakland.
Pitch swung on and chopped to third. Moore charges, fields, throws across the diamond, not in time as the Canterbury came off the bag. I don't know if the throw was wide or Joey just couldn't necessarily find the bag. As we'll see if we can get it on our Little General Stores replay here as Canterbury looks like the throw is just wide of the bag as Moore charges. It was a tough play for Braylon Moore, and still can't really tell, but
it did look like Joey Canterbury slid off. Came off.
Maybe he couldn't find the footing. So, nevertheless, scoring an error. So for the Tigers. And that pitch to Tanner Griffin is on the outside corner for a called strike. 0-1 to count.
I wrote that down as a ball. That was my fault. That was a good placement. That good pitch right there for Andrew Farley. He's just 2 outs away from ending this ball game for Sissonville.
Pitch swung on a foul, and it's 0-2 the count. Sissonville has a 1-out base runner in the top half of the 7th inning. They trail Chapmanville 8-4. Chapmanville 2 outs away from their 10th consecutive victory. 0-2 on the way, and outside for a ball. It gets by Brody Dalton, but no advancement by Pridemore at first as he was going back to the bag. He didn't see Dalton. He didn't see that the ball got by Dalton, so no harm. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, a correction. I meant ending the game in the win for Chapmanville. But, Bill, 7th inning, this is where Sissonville likes to do their damage. They got 1 out of the board. See if Farley can get Sissonville to get out number 2.
Pitch is swung on, popped up to second base, and there is Luke Knight for the putout. Out number 2, and the Indians are down to their last out. And it will be Andrew Chapman who came on in relief of Wyatt Lester.
Andrew Chapman coming in. He first appearance today at the plate. Wyatt Lester was in front of him, and Wyatt Lester was 0 for 2 today with a fly out and a ground out. Let's see if Chapman can continue this inning for the Sissonville Indians as he takes that pitch low for strike 1.
Pitch at the knees, 0-1 to count, 2 outs. Farley working quickly. Pitch on the way, swung on, fouled out of play. 0-2, and the Indians are down to their final strike.
1 strike away for Chapmanville Tigers winning in Battle of the Ville. And right now, Chapmanville, everything's just clicking on right here, so they're looking to end this ball game here before he even hits dark.
Pitch swung on, hit up the middle. There is Knight, who will take it to the bag himself to force Austin Pridemore and record the final out. And Chapmanville has won 10 in a row. Final score tonight, 8-4 over Sissonville. We'll be back in 2 minutes to recap it and set the stage for our next broadcast on WBOW. Once again, Chapmanville 8, Sissonville 4. This is Chapmanville Tigers Baseball on Video Productions and WBOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Virginia, where the Chapmanville Tigers have won their 10th consecutive game, defeating the Sissonville Indians 8-4 tonight in a fast-moving game. And Daniel, what can you say? 10 in a row. I mean, that's not an easy feat. and especially the Cardinal Conference and the schedule that the Tigers play.
Yeah, that's not easy for any ball club, especially how Chapmanville has won 10 in a row in their last 5 outings. Again, not counting the Wayne game because that game's technically still in progress, but wins over Logan, Riverside, Winfield, Man, and now Sissonville. They have reached over 8 runs in those 5 games, as they got 9 runs against Logan, 12 against Riverside, 8 against Winfield, 12 against Man, and now 8 against Sissonville. So the bats are extremely hot for Chapmanville. And right now, the way they're playing, they got Wayne again coming up Friday.
That's exactly.
And I want you to go ahead with that one, Bill.
You got Wayne. Wayne coming up. Then that's Friday night. Again, that looks promising to be played Friday night. I think the weather forecast for Friday is very promising. Saturday is the question. They have the completion of the suspended game with Wayne, where they're down 6-5 in the 3rd inning, and then they're going to play Point Pleasant. Let's say right around 30 minutes after the completion of that Wayne game. If they fail to come back in that, let's say they win Friday, Saturday doesn't get played. You've got Scott coming up on Monday, and then Logan on Wednesday. If you get by those 2 games, where does the streak end?
I'm just going to take a good look at it. It doesn't. Maybe there might be some games that could happen. Charleston, they got to go to Charleston Catholic. That's a very tough team.
That's a tough one.
And then their final game of the year against the runner-up from Class AAA last year, George Washington. As I just don't see it anywhere, because this, especially if Chapmanville plays the way they're playing, they can beat anybody in the state. They can even beat a Bridgeport, Hurricane, and Williamstown. I mean, all those power teams that's just known for baseball, they can beat them. So where does that streak end for Chapmanville? Right now, Chapmanville's hoping that streak doesn't end and that streak continues. And well, there is one place they would like to see, Chapmanville would like to see that streak end, and that is hoisting the state championship trophy at Gomart Park in the baseball state tournament.
So you're saying they'd like to see it end next year? They'd like
to see it end.
Charleston,
yeah,
which is a possibility. It could happen. Again, this team very complete, 1 through 9 in the lineup. As I mentioned, you get to 6, 7, 8, 9 in the lineup, and the guys are hitting, 290 or less in the bottom of the lineup, but they're doing their job, getting the runners over and setting this table. And when they're given opportunities, they're able to get them in. But again, if not Scott, if not Logan, Charleston Catholic, as you mentioned, at Charleston Catholic, that game at Herbert Hoover's not going to be an easy one as well. And then George Washington, they do have Man here on May the 1st, so I'm really interested to see how they handled Man in the late innings, how that approach may carry over into the next game. And also all it takes, and it just takes one pitcher to shut you down. So Logan, would they dare throw Dawson Maynard a second time? Would Man come in here with Bo Thompson, Scott High School, Griffin Miller? You're going to face some good pitchers. Hey, Charleston Catholic, their sophomore sensation.
Jonah DeCoco, he is nasty.
So there's some question marks there as to where the streak could end. But, as it stands, 10 in a row for Chapmanville, and their next game is Friday against Wayne.
Yep, and the Wayne Pioneers coming into town. And you have to think Wayne could be on the high note right here, because technically they still have the lead over Chapmanville in that unfinished business game, and they might be running in high. They're always a team that can always pull off the upset. Like it's like they always do it. I say that word always a lot because it's like they do it. They can do it. And that's how Wayne is, and especially getting into the mindset of what happened last year with Chapmanville and Wayne. Wayne ended Chapmanville's season last year, so that could be in the back of the minds, just a little bit in the mindset of Chapmanville that says, hey, this is that Wayne team that beats you. And then Wayne returned some players from last year. This is that same Wayne team that beat you last season, that ended your season. Wouldn't you like to get the revenge on them and put them down in the section and just get that win and get that mindset out of your head if you're a Chapmanville ball club? But Bill, my final thoughts right now is Chapmanville is just good as advertised. They are a very tough, talented team. They got great speed on the base pass. They got a great hitting team, and they are a very well-balanced pitching team. As Canterbury started the game, Farley came in to finish it, and it's just going in high notes for Chapmanville. It's starting next week, Monday. I call it the two-game killer for Chapmanville with going to Scott. It's never easy winning at Scott. And then you beat Logan once. Can you do it again this season?
And then sandwiched in between that game is Logan at Scott. 3 games next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, that are going to have an impact on the Class AA Region 4 Section 2 seeding when it's voted on by the coaches. And it's going to be an exciting week next week. We'll see how it all plays out. Of course, keep up to date with us. We will have the Logan Chapmanville game on the air, but also on WVOWradio.com, we will have the results and game recaps of Logan and Scott, Logan and Chapmanville, Chapmanville and Scott next week. And when the sectional seedings are announced, the pairings, we will have those for you as well. Well, we hope to have some, updates of the softball game between the Logan Wildcats and the Wayne Pioneers, but not for sure if, maybe somebody's not scoring it out there right now for Logan, or if maybe there's a little bit of some cell reception out there, some cell issues, because cell reception's pretty good out Wayne right now with all the new towers and stuff. So don't know what necessarily is going on out there, and I hope to have had a score in the Man West Side baseball game as well, but neither one of those. But the one that we do know is the Lady Hillbillies defeated West Side 21-0 in 3 innings. They improved to 9-3, and their next game will be I think they play Princeton on Saturday afternoon. Again, that is questionable, and we'll have Man and Logan softball Monday on WVOW. But for tonight, Sissonville, 4 runs, 6 hits, 4 errors. They left 10 runners on base. The victorious Chapmanville Tigers, 8 runs, 10 hits, 6 errors, 9 runners left on base. Joey Canterbury, your winning pitcher. Wyatt Lester, the losing pitcher. And for the 4th straight game and for the 5th time in his last 4 games, Andrew Farley cleared the bases with a home run. Well, it was a solo home run, so he cleared the fences, we should say. Sissonville falls to 4-12. They're in action tomorrow evening against the Polka Dots. Chapmanville, as we mentioned, Friday evening against the Wayne Pioneers. Daniel, your final thoughts?
Both teams, Sissonville, their record now stands at 4-12. They're better than their record. They've played really tough competition, and that's all due to the coach, due to head coach Chad Carpenter. He has built his team. He knows that his team, if you're wanting to get to a regionals and get to the state tournament, you're going to see tough competitions. In Region 4, Section 1, you got Winfield, Point Pleasant, Nitro, and Polka. That any one of those teams can beat you on any given day, because that region is murder's row, and whoever comes out of that region, I've always said it, will earn it. And then for Chapmanville, honestly, they're just good as advertised. They're hitting the ball great. Their pitching staff pitching rotation's coming together. Their field play, even though they gave up about 4 errors tonight, it's still that, or 3 errors. It's still not the deading spot for Chapmanville. They're as good as advertised, and they're number one for a reason. And with next week coming up, that's when they will have to earn number one next week. Because, Bill, I'm just going to mention the 5 games next week. At Scott, home versus Logan, home versus Nitro, at Point Pleasant, and at Charleston Catholic. You can win those 4 games. You will definitely have earned the number 1 seed in the region, and you might remain, no matter what, number 1 in the entire state throughout the remainder of the season.
You win 5 of those ball games, yeah. If you just lose 2, depending on who you lose 2, that's a good possibility to. That's a good claim to stake. The game with Logan, depending on what happens with Fairmont Senior this one. I know they beat Robert C. Byrd. There's an outside shot that could be 1 versus 2 in Class AA. And then you look ahead to Charleston Catholic on Saturday, depending on how the Irish do. I know they got a tough game tomorrow with the Man Hillbillies. They'll probably see Bo Thompson or possibly Braxton Messer on the mound, so they're going to get a tough pitcher to face. That game next week could be a battle of 2 number 1s, as Class A number 1 Charleston Catholic host Class AA number 1 Chapmanville. But that remains to be seen. As for our next broadcast on WVOW, it'll be tomorrow evening from Roger E. Gertz Field for a battle of the Wildcats as Nitro visits Class AA number 3 Logan. Pre-game coverage starting at 6:50. First pitch scheduled for 7 p.m. from Logan's Roger E. Gertz Field. As we'll thank a couple of people tonight that helped bring this broadcast to you. First Video Productions, our computer controls, Sydney Mayo, did a fantastic job, and we thank for coming up here and getting us on the air and bringing the videos to you, and putting up with our late game shenanigans, and even if Daniel's loud laugh nearly busted her eardrums, but
is she still standing? Yeah, she's fine.
But yeah, Sydney done a good job tonight. And also, you got to thank, Robbie Mounts. For the first time tonight, he didn't have to worry about whether he was going to be blown off the top of the press box here at Ted Ellis Field.
And no cameras broke.
No cameras broke. That's right. No. Didn't have to worry about the wind blowing over any cameras. Didn't have to worry about the wind blowing him over the press box down onto the pavement. I'm sure he was thankful for that. And, I really want to say that, he may have been working on his suntan up there, but, he's been up there on the box with sleeves on, I believe. And, actually, I think, Sydney might be a little jealous here that he was up there in the sun. She didn't get to go up there and get some sun, so.
That just tells you how much we love Video Productions. They put up with us, so we're lucky to have a company like that.
Hey, if we didn't get a laugh from Robbie and we didn't get a smile from Sydney when we were sitting here cutting up, I would be worried that, we was doing something wrong. But
I'm probably going to get a message from Bush saying, "End it now."
But we thank them for keeping us, keeping us up to date and allowing us to bring this to you on your computer screen. And, of course, we can't forget our studio engineer, Hunter Gibson, back in the WVOW studios, who did a fantastic job of keeping us on the air. But, for Daniel Miller, I'm Bill Lusk. It's saying, once again, your final score tonight from Chapmanville High School. The Tigers make it 10 in a row. They defeat Sissonville 8-4, and we hope you've enjoyed this broadcast of Chapmanville Tigers baseball on WVOW and Video Productions, and hope you can tune in tomorrow evening when the Logan Wildcats host the Nitro Wildcats. Once again, thank you for listening to Chapmanville High School baseball or watching on Video Productions. This has been Chapmanville High School baseball on WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Good night, everybody.